Back everyone. Okay, we will study today mensuration part. Okay, so mensuration is like measuring the areas or measuring the perimeters or different figures in 2 dimensional and 3 dimensional. Okay, so what we will do is we will just go through some important 2 dimensional figures, and then we will go for some questions on that, how to find the areas and other things. Okay. Fine. So now, sure. Fine. Okay. So first thing, this here we are going to learn maths bridge course in which um, anyway these are like some of the things we will focus upon. Just like you have an area, you have perimeter, you have volume. Always remember, area means the dimension of that, the unit of that will be meter square, centimeter square. So perimeter means it is centimeter, meter. So length is like, when you have area means what you have? You have the surface. The area is the surface which covered by closure shape. You have closure shape, maybe you have closure shape like you have a circle is there or you have a triangle is there. So that area which is enclosed, the part is enclosed by the shape, that is area. So what is the unit of that meter square? What is the volume? Volume means, again, it's a space included inside a surface. Okay, that's we call it as volume. And volume is always, now you have a area into the height. Okay, you have area into the height, that becomes the volume. Okay, then there is curved surface area, lateral surface area, total surface area. These things you have applied when it comes to I think these things you have applied, right, when it comes to area, volume of the surface area of the cylinder, cone, all those things, right? So then there is cube also. Fine. So what we will do first, we will go through 2D figures, and in 2D figures some important things we will go through. Okay, just starting with the triangle. Okay, starting with the triangle. So what is a triangle? Triangle is a thing which is having 3 vertices and 3 sides, right? 3 vertices as 3 sides and 3 sides. Okay, so there are some important things when it comes to triangle. There are the 3 areas, right? So 3 areas are there. Sorry, 3 angles are there and 3 sides are there. How do we represent this triangle? Always remember, so even in your 11th 12th also you will study the same thing. So representation of a triangle, always you should remember this. So you have the vertices A, B and C. Okay, you have the vertices A, B, C. Fine. So this angle, okay, this is, we call it as angle A, this is angle C, this is angle B. Okay, and the side which is opposite to capital A, we write it as small a. Side which is opposite to capital B, we write it as small b, and side which is opposite to capital C, we write it as small c. Okay, this is like this is a representation of a triangle always. Okay, this is representation of a triangle. Now, what we write P? P is semi-perimeter. You might have studied, right? So P is semi-perimeter, so which is A plus B plus C divided by 2. Okay, so how do you find area of a triangle? So area of triangle is half into base into height. Okay, half into base into height. And you can also find area of triangle using second way, that is Heron's formula. And you have studied Heron's formula, right? That is root of s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c. Correct. So what is s in that? That is semi-perimeter. Sometimes I also write it as p. Sometimes I also write it as, no. I think they will not write p. They will write s only. P is perimeter. S is semi-perimeter. Yeah. So semi-perimeter. So here they have written P, right? So P is what? P is perimeter. And what is perimeter equal to? So perimeter is A plus B plus C, and that is 2 times of S. Okay, right angle triangle, half into base into height. Height is that perpendicular. And equilateral triangle, when it comes to equilateral triangle, you should know the area. Root 3, area is root 3 by 4a square. Root 3 by 4a square. Okay, so so this is area of equilateral triangle. Okay, so you should remember this formula. And I just thought of, I just was checking through some of the very good sites in which I can do some interactive calculations for triangles. So I just came across a good place. Okay, so that's just wanted to share here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I just came across this. It's a very good platform where you can clearly get to know about triangles. So you can play with triangles. Here you can see this. You can just drag the points and you'll get to know that it calculates the angles also. So, and there are 3 kinds of triangle. You know, one is acute angle triangle, another is obtuse angle triangle, another is right angle triangle, right? So all those things you can do here. So if this becomes an obtuse angle triangle, this becomes acute angle triangle, and if you just make it at 90 degree, it becomes right angle triangle. Okay, so the angles you can observe. Okay, then also you have 3 interior triangles where angles always equal to 180. You can change all the angles and you get to know. So it's 180 degrees, right? And here you can also calculate the perimeter of any particular triangle. So it gives you the area, it gives you the length of the sides and you will get to know about it. Fine. And the area also. So area of a triangle is half into base into height. Then how do you find the area of this kind of triangle where the height you don't know? That height of a triangle, we also call it as the altitude of a triangle. You have heard this word before, altitude. Altitude means the height. In general also we use what is the altitude of a person or the altitude of a character. Altitude means that greatness or the height. So here in triangles also height, altitude means height. Okay, so height is 12. How do we measure this height? This height 12 is nothing but the length of the perpendicular line from the vertex. Okay, what exactly, you can just listen to me again. So what is the height or altitude of a triangle? So you should have a perpendicular line to the base. So here what is the base? Here 20 is written, that is the base. And the height is, like altitude is, from that base 20, you should have a perpendicular line passing through opposite vertex. Passing through opposite vertex. That is nothing but height, right? Okay, now here you can clearly see what exactly is height. Okay, so you can see here. So I'm just writing it down like this. Okay, so this is a right angle triangle. So this is a right angle triangle. Okay, for a right angle triangle, you can see the altitude is what? Altitude is the length, and length is AC itself is the length in this. Correct? What is AC? AC is the height of the triangle. Now, if I just pull the C right hand side, so this perpendicular line which is written, no, that is nothing but the altitude, right? This is nothing but the altitude. Okay, so now so here you can find out the altitude is given as 135. So half into base into height, you will get the area of the triangle, right? So now What if I just pull it to left hand side, you see? So this is the obtuse angle triangle, and for the obtuse angle triangle, I need to draw a line which is perpendicular to the base. What is base in this? BC. So base is BC. To that you have to write a perpendicular line. Okay. So that altitude need not be inside the triangle. It can be outside the triangle also. So this is the best example, obtuse angle triangle, where the altitude is outside the triangle, and that perpendicular line, you can see it is flying outside, but it should be parallel, it should be perpendicular to the base. That condition you should take care. It should be perpendicular to the base. So any triangle it is, you can find half into base into height. Okay, and actually, how do you get it? Because it's a triangle. If you just copy paste the triangle but reverse it. Okay, you see this. You can see here. So this triangle is like I'm taking copy paste of it, but I'm inverting it. Okay, so that I'm going to get a parallelogram, because you can see this line. Okay, this line and this line are parallel to each other, and these two are also parallel to each other. You can easily see here. So they are parallelogram, and you know the height of the parallelogram is half into base into height, area of the parallelogram. So base into height is area of parallelogram. So half into base into height is area of the triangle. Okay, so this is how you get. Fine. Okay. Fine. So this is about triangles. In the triangles, we have learned what is area of the triangle, and there are three kinds of triangle, right? What are the three kinds of triangle? Mainly we have equilateral triangle. So we have equilateral triangle. Then we have isosceles triangle. Then we also have, first is equilateral, where all the angles and all the sides are equal, right? And we also have isosceles triangle, right? So equilateral, all sides are equal. Then we have isosceles, we have two sides and two angles are equal, isosceles. And lastly, we have scalene triangle, where no sides are equal, no sides and no angles are equal. And scalene triangle, there is one special case you get in scalene triangle, that is right angled triangle. Okay, so right angled triangle is special case where we can apply Pythagoras theorem. Because Pythagoras theorem, again, very important type of triangle. Okay, so we'll go ahead. This is about triangles. I just what we'll do, we'll mainly see two things: one perimeter and another is area, and some important things about it. And there are four centers of a triangles are there, so that if possible, this time we'll study, or we'll see when we some other time we can study. So that is something called as centroid, and there's something called as orthocenter, circumcenter, and incenter. So there are something like that. So we will see some other time. Okay. So this is about quadrilateral. Now for a quadrilateral, there are four angles, and these angles, if you add it, you will get 360 degrees. Okay. And what is perimeter of the quadrilateral? A plus B plus C plus D. And amazingly, so this formula of Heron's triangle we have studied, right? So similar formula you can apply for quadrilateral, and that will also satisfy. That is A equal to root of S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. Here S minus D also comes. There are four sides. Okay. This is about quadrilateral, and in quadrilateral there are different types of quadrilateral. So you have rectangle, then you have parallelogram, then you have a rectangle. Okay, so what exactly determines which types it is? Mainly, see, if it's a parallelogram, in parallelogram there are four types. It's a simple parallelogram, it is simple parallelogram, or it is a rectangle, or it is a rhombus, or it's a square. So there are four types in parallelogram. Okay, so what exactly the The one which determines whether it is parallelogram or rectangle or rhombus or square is its diagonals. So what plays a very important role here? It is diagonals. If you know the diagonals, okay, so for a parallelogram and all the types of parallelogram, there are 4 types of parallelograms in here, right? So for all these 4 types of parallelograms, what is important is diagonals bisect each other. Okay, this is a very important rule. So diagonals bisect each other. So what is the meaning of bisecting each other? Bisecting each other means you have a parallelogram like this. So you have one diagonal here, another diagonal here. So this point will be midpoint for both the diagonals. It's midpoint for both the diagonals. You take any other quadrilateral, it does not follow. You know, it does not follow. So if you have a trapezium, so what is trapezium? 2 sides are parallel. That's all. But if you draw the diagonals like this, one diagonal and second diagonal, you can clearly see. So this is not the midpoint of any of the diagonals. Okay, so that's the importance of parallelogram. And in parallelogram there are 4 types, and how do you understand which type it is? Based upon diagonals. Okay, so diagonals. What is area? Area of the rectangle, length into breadth. Okay, what is perimeter of the rectangle? That is 2 times length plus breadth. Okay, so you can, this is about rectangle. Then we have square. For a square, all the sides are equal, and you can also know that, see, for a rectangle, another thing is here, for a rectangle, another thing is diagonal, length of diagonals are equal. So that is AC is equal to BD. But AC is not perpendicular to BD. It's only a rectangle. If AC and BD are perpendicular, then you get a square. If AC and BD are not perpendicular, it is only a rectangle. So here, so they are perpendicular also. Okay, they are perpendicular also. And secondly, they are equal also. So AC is equal to BD and AC is perpendicular to BD. Okay, and if the lengths of the sides are like, if they have given L here, if you consider it as A, so the area will be A square. So area will get A square. And perimeter is 4A, and perimeter you can also write in terms of area because they are easily connected. Area equal to A square. So A equal to root A, root capital A. So you will get perimeter equal to 4 times root of the area. Okay, so like this you can do all the calculations. And next we have rhombus. And for what is rhombus? Rhombus is all the sides are equal but the diagonals are not equal. So here AC is equal to BD for the rectangle, so not rectangle, square. Here AC is not equal to BD, but all the sides are equal. Same condition, all the sides are equal. Then it is rhombus. Okay, then what is the area of it? Area of it, I will divide it into, yeah, I will divide it. So what is D1, D2? D1, D2 are the diagonals, and if you know the lengths of the diagonals, so D1 into D2. Okay, so what actually happens is I will just write it like this. So this is D1, right? So this is D1. So this is D1. So I will write a line which is parallel to AC but equal to AC, like this. Okay, I'll write like this. So this is D2, this is D1, this is D2. And what is the area of this? This is D1 into D2 is the area, right? D1 into D2 is why? Because it's perpendicular. This is perpendicular. This also should be perpendicular. So it's like a rectangle, and rectangle D1, D2 is the area. Okay. So, but what you are getting D1, D2 is half of the area. Right? What I have done is I have kept it this part is here. This is half of the area. So therefore it's half of D1, D2. So therefore you will get this area here of rhombus is half into D1, D2. If you know the diagonals, length of the diagonals of rhombus, that is half into D1, D2 is the area of the rhombus. Okay. So what is perimeter? That is 4 times the length, and you can do all those calculations. How do you find the length? If you know the diagonals, That also you can do, because Pythagoras theorem you can apply. And there is half of d1. This is half of d1, and this is half of d2. And you have a triangle, that is A, B, and I will consider it as x. Okay, and this is half of d2, it's half of d1, and this is L, and this is 90-degree right angle triangle. So because it is right angle triangle, I can apply the Pythagoras theorem. From that I will get the length here. Okay, if you know the diagonals of the rhombus, you can find everything else. Okay, so what is important for rhombus is diagonals. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Next one is a parallelogram, and for the parallelogram, what is the area? Length into height. So length into height. Okay, so, and what is perimeter? Perimeter is 2 times length plus breadth. Okay, so there is nothing much for parallelogram. This much only, 2 things are sufficient for parallelogram. And for a parallelogram, what all things are followed? So you can clearly see the parallelogram. For a simple parallelogram, the length of the diagonals are not equal. Neither the diagonals are perpendicular to each other. So they are not perpendicular also, they are not equal also. Okay, so I'm just revising. Okay, all these points you know, but is just refreshing. Okay, trapezium is there. So what is trapezium? Trapezium is geometrical figure having any pair of sides are parallel and unequal. Okay, so they are parallel and unequal, and you have area of this trapezium is half into a plus b into height. Okay, and this formula, so you have studied, right? Half into a plus b, the length of sum of the lengths of the parallel sides, right? Okay, so now I will just do a small demonstration for this part also, right? You have interactive quadrilateral here. And what is interactive quadrilateral? I can again change the points, and I can get to know, I can just find out the angles for it, and sum of the angles always equal to 360. I can calculate the lengths also, and I can calculate the diagonals also. Okay, so now if it is square, so you can clearly see all the angles are equal, that is 90 degree, and all the sides are also equal, and length of the diagonals are also equal, and diagonals are perpendicular to each other also. And if it is a rectangle, I'll just pull it. Okay, I'll just pull this here. Okay, so now you can clearly see it's a rectangle where the sides are not equal, and the lengths you can clearly see they are equal. Okay, there's some question here. What is trapezoid? Trapezoid is a 3-dimensional figure. It's like a cuboid is there. You have cuboid. Then there is cuboid means you have a cube and which is a little bit tilted. We call it as cuboid. Similarly, trapezoid is a 3-dimensional figure. It's like so one of the side is like a trapezium, and you built a 3-dimensional figure on that. Okay, that we call it as trapezoid. Okay, then yeah, so if it is a rhombus, actually trapezoid is a 3-dimensional also. Here it is, it's something else is given. Anyway, it's not a problem. Actually cuboid, trapezoid is a 3-dimensional, and sometimes this 2-dimensional is also called as trapezoid, trapezium basically. But I'm not getting that option here. It's like any, and it's a trapezoid, it's a kite. If it's a kite, you can see that whenever I'm changing, no, so it's going to be, what will happen? Only BC and AB will change, and other 2 sides will remain. So this is a kite. If it's a trapezoid, see, trapezoid means what? It's like, see, it's a trapezium basically. Here, what they have given is trapezium. So AB is parallel to CD. By automatically, it's taking care. AB is parallel to CD. Actually, when we say trapezium, it's for 2D, and trapezoid, as per my knowledge, it's for 3D, but they have given trapezoid here. Uh, for time being, we consider it trapezium. Okay. So like this, you can play with that. So you can get an idea what exactly is a parallelogram, what exactly is a rhombus, what exactly is the rhombus means all the sides are equal and their angles, the diagonals are not equal, but diagonals are perpendicular to each other. All these conditions you can get Okay. And those who are intelligent enough, they would have already seen the website and you would have noted down, and I'm sure you will go through it later. Fine. So I'm coming back to my presentation. So there are different quadrilaterals we finished, and now we will go to circles, right? And for circles, you have a circle is the locus of all the points such that the distance from a fixed point is always equal. That means here you can see this radius. Okay, what is the meaning of fixed distance? That is radius, and fixed point is the center. Okay, fixed point will be the center. And what is what, sir? What is this locus here? They have given something locus. Locus means collection. Okay, so collection of points. Locus means collection of points. It's like you have collected all the points lying on the circle, and you can clearly see that all these points are equal distance from the center. Okay, that's all. So this is nothing but locus. Locus means collection of points. Now, what all things are there? So diameter of a circle is 2 times radius. Area of the circle, you know, area equal to pi r square. So perimeter or circumference. What we use is circumference for a circle, that's 2 pi r. Then when it comes to a semicircle, so semicircle means perimeter will be, or circumference will be what, half. That's like half of 2 pi r plus this length also, that is 2r. So pi r plus 2r you will get. Okay, and this is about they have given the value as 36 by 7, just like 22 by 7 is there, so 36 by 7 you will get perimeter. Okay, so what about length of arc? Okay, length of arc is like the length of arc, you will do a comparison like this. Okay, so what you will do is I'll just write down in this way. I'll just write down in this way. For 360 degrees, okay, you have length of circumference is 2 pi r. It's only arc, right? So for theta degree, here there's theta degree is given. For theta degrees, what will be the length? So it's like a comparison. You have done this, right? So directly proportional, you can multiply like this, you'll get 360 into, say, this is x is equal 2 pi r into theta. So what will be the x equal to now? You will get 2 and 180 they'll get cancelled, and you will get pi by 180 into, you have pi r square, pi r. Okay, 2 pi r, so pi r, so into pi will get, so theta 2 pi r, yeah, 2 pi r. So you have, yeah, this theta into r. So what is that 36 by 7 r? Okay, I'll just explain it. Okay, so this is pi r. Okay, this is pi r by 180. This is nothing but this, but the arc of length of the arc of perimeter of the arc, that is x equal to pi r by 180. Okay, so Daivik, what they have given here, no? So here you can clearly see that perimeter they have given. Sorry. So perimeter they have given as pi r plus 2r, no? So this pi r plus 2r they have done as 22 by 7r plus 2r, and they have taken r common, and they have calculated, it comes to 36 by 7. That's all. Just like you write 22 by 7r as the pi r is 22 by 7r, that is as the perimeter. and this is the area, not area, pi r square, so like that. So 36 by 70, that's all. Okay, so what is area of the sector? We have given area of the sector also here. So what is that area of the sector? So that area of the sector, again I will do the same thing for 360 degrees. Okay, for 2 pi r. So for 360 degree 2 pi, so you have pi r square as the area. For 360 degrees, you have pi r square as the area. For what is the theta? For particular theta, what is that area? So I'll consider this as area as A. So area you will get theta by 360 into pi r square. Theta by 360 into pi r square. Okay, so this we have completed important points. Now let us go to the question. It's too much boring to discuss on theory part, right? So another last thing is here about this is about different polygons and the formula for polygon. If it is a regular polygon means, yeah, area of a segment. Okay, what is area of a segment? That also we'll discuss. Okay, so area of a segment is, you have a circle and segment is, I think, this. Okay, this is segment. Is it so? No, this is not segment. What is segment? I think other area. This area is segment, right? So this is segment. So what you will do for that? You will there is a formula also. No, I think what is that formula? Anybody can tell? So this I can easily tell that if suppose this angle is theta, so area of the sector is going to be pi r square, theta by 360 into pi r square. That is going to be area of the sector. So minus, you have to write area of the triangle, and that triangle is a, which kind of triangle? It is a isosceles triangle. It's going to be isosceles triangle, and you can apply even trigonometry also there, and you can find out. Okay, and this is about regular polygon, and this regular polygon has n sides, and you can remember this formula, which is very important. Okay, so theta equal to n minus 2 by n into 180. What is that? It's very simple to understand. For a triangle, how many sides? It has 3 sides. So area total sum of the angles is how much? 180 degrees, right? 180 degree, and this 180 degree. Okay, fine. For quadrilateral, which has 4 sides, 4 angles, what is that? And what is the summation? 360 degrees. If it is 5 sides, the pentagon has 540 degrees. It's like actually 180 into 1, 180 into 2, 180 into 3. You can clearly observe, if it is 5 sides, you have to multiply 3. If it is 4 sides, you have to multiply 2. If it is 3 sides, you have to multiply 1. Surely, if it is a hexagon, 6 sides, you have to multiply 180 into 4. Okay, so 720 you get, I think. Okay, 720. So similarly, if it is n sides, okay, n sides, 720 degrees, it's the degrees. What is the difference between radian and degree? Okay, that also I will explain. So just I'll complete this part. So n sides, then what will be the angle? That is 180 into n minus 2. Okay, so 180 into n minus 2. 180 into n minus 2. See, for 5 sides it is 3. For 4 sides it is 2. For 3 sides it is 1. For 6 sides it is 4. So whatever is n side, it has to be n minus 2. So I have taken it as 180 into n minus 2. Okay, for n side it is 180 minus 180 into n minus 2. Then what is that particular angle? So if it is a regular polygon, all these angles are equal. That means total angle I will divide by n. Yes, total angle I will divide by n. That is n minus 2 into 180 is total angle. I will divide by n. Okay, so this is about the vertex angle of particular polygon. You can apply this formula for triangle, quadrilateral, anything it works. And for triangle, quadrilateral, you don't have to apply. But in general, for any polygon it works. Okay, so now there is a question here, sir. What is the difference between radians and degree, and how to convert degree into radian. It's very simple. Okay, it's very simple. You have to just remember the so you have to just remember area of the circle. There's a question here, what is the difference between radian and degree? How to convert degree into radian? That's actually just you have to remember circle. Okay, so I will explain it how exactly you can do. But one thing is like radian and degree are different measurements of angles. Okay, so degree system is like for 90 degree you will cut it into 90 parts, like that, or 360 degrees. So 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, 360 degrees. That degree system. What is radian? Radian is you have a circle. Okay, and radius of the circle is this, and the same radius length you walk like this. Okay, so what is this length? Length of the arc should be r. So angle covered when you walk along the circumference r. So radius is r. Okay, so now you are walking along the circumference. How much distance? R distance. So then the area that angle covered is nothing but 1 radian. Angle covered is 1 radian. Okay, so then how do I compare it now? How do I compare it? Okay, see, now if I walk r distance, I will get 1 radian. Okay, if I walk r distance, I'll get 1 radian. If I walk complete, that means I started from here, point A, I'll go like this, again come back to this point. Okay, so I'll walk along the circumference, full circle I will walk. If I walk full circle, how much length? If it is r distance, if distance is r, I'll get 1 radian. Okay, if I walk full distance, that is 2 pi r. If I walk 2 pi r, and how many radians? 2 pi radians. If it is r distance, 1 radian. If it's 2 pi r distance, it's 2 pi radian, because I am multiplying 2 pi with the sides, right? So if I walk full distance, that's nothing but 2 pi radians. So that means 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi radian. Yes, define 1 radians. 1 radian is the angle covered by the, or I can say that it's like 1 radian is the angle subtended by the r with the length as radius of the circle. I'll write it here. 1 radian is what? 1 radian is angle, you know what is subtended, right? So angle subtended. Okay. We'll come to that point. Okay. So angle subtended by the arc with the length. Okay, with the length equals to radius of the circle. Okay, so the angle subtended by the arc with the length equals to radius of the circle. So that, suppose you have a, okay, if it is a 1 unit circle, then angle subtended by the arc of 1 unit at the center. If you consider it as unit circle, I will write it here. There is one unit. Then you have to walk 1 unit along the circumference. So angle subtended at the center by the arc of 1 unit. So the length of the arc should be 1 unit. The angle subtended at the center. The Akash has a question here. Then 2 pi radian is the area of the circle. So what is area of the circle? Area of the circle is always pi r square. Area of the circle is pi r square. So 2 pi into radian. No, 2 pi into radian is not area. You will not get the area there. So Dhruva, excellent once again, sir. Yes, see, one thing is like 360 degree is like, so what we are trying to do, if somebody walks r distance, radius distance, same length as radius, if they walk along the circumference, you will get 1 radian, right? So if I walk full circle, that full circumference I walk, what is that length? 2 pi r radian. So it's 2 pi r length, sorry, 2 pi r. So 2 pi r is a length, and what is the angle covered now? 2 pi. So for r, you will cover 1 radian. For 2 pi r, you will cover 2 pi radians. Okay. So for 2 pi radians, you have 360 degrees, and I want to find out radian. I want to convert radian into degrees into radian. I need to just use this. That's all. Okay. How do I convert? So 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi radians, right? So that means pi radian is equal to 180 degrees. So 1 degree equal to how much? Pi by 180 radians. And 1 radian equal to how much? I will take pi down. That is 180 by pi degrees. 180 by pi degrees. Divided by pi degrees. Okay, is this point clear to everyone? What is degree? What is radian? Very simple. Okay, so when you come to 11th, again this we will learn in detail. Okay, fine. So we covered all the 2-dimensional degrees. Okay, sorry, 2-dimensional figures. So we covered triangle. What is triangle? What is quadrilateral? Then what is types of quadrilateral? Then what is a polygon? In polygon, what all the angles? Okay, so all these points we have covered. So we'll go ahead to the questions. Everybody ready for the questions? Okay, so we'll discuss questions now. So theory is very boring, so we'll go to questions. Questions are more interesting. Okay, everybody is ready for questions? Okay, I'll go to the first question. First question here is diagonal of a square is 4 root 2 centimeters. Diagonal of another square whose area is double that of first square is what? Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds. So then we'll discuss that. What they have given is you have a circle, you have a square, sorry, you have a square, the length is 4 root 2, and the diagonal of another square, you have to find another square. So where the area is double. Area is double. What is the answer? Eight root 2. 8 root 2. Correct? 8 root 2. Clear? Very simple. So you have a square. So the length is 4 root 2. If it's 4 root 2, it's A, then A root 2 will be the diagonal. So A equal to 4. A equal to 4 means area of this small rectangle is 16. Then area of bigger rectangle, not rectangle, square. So bigger square area should be equal to 32. 32 should be equal to a square. So a square, that means a equal to 8 root 2. Okay, simple. We'll go to the next one. Yes. Now comes to triangle. Now you have D and E are the midpoints of the sides AB and AC respectively. The triangle ABC in the figure given here, the shaded region of the triangle is what percent of the whole triangle region? What percent of the whole triangle region? Try. %. No, I know you will do this mistake. So just because it is it's like midpoint, it doesn't form 50%. You have to apply what you have studied in your I think Rabia Bano Sariko. I think Zain Sariko, is it? Mohammad Zain, right? Rabi, I think so. Yeah. So not 60%. Okay. Some are getting 60%. Okay. BPT theorem. Yes, you have to apply BPT theorem exactly. Yes. Some students have written 75%. I think option 3 is Omkar has written 75%. Shashidhar Kittur has written 75%. Then Rahul, Kirti, Shashidhar, Mohammad Zain. So all the students have written 75%, and some students have written 60, and some have written 50. Okay, so just because it is 50%, okay, Isha is also telling 75%. Okay, so just because it is 50%, it is just because the midpoint is not going to be 50%. Why? So you have a triangle like this. Okay, so I will apply BPT theorem. I have A, I have B, I have C, and this point is D and E, right? So I know that AD is equal to DD, right? That means if I take two triangles, one is ADE, another is ABC, so bigger triangle. This is ADE and this is ABC. Fine. So there are two triangles here. So there are two triangles here, and you can clearly see this one and this one. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so this one and this one are similar triangles, and for similar triangles, areas are ratios of the squares of the ratios of the sides. So if this is x, surely this is 2x. So what will be the area of A1 by A2 equal to? Area of A1 by A2 equal to 1x by 2x the whole square. It will be in that same ratio, right? That's what you have studied. That means 1 by 4. That means if this area is 1, this area is going to be 4. If this area is 1, this area is going to be 4. And if total area is 4, okay, and this is 1, this has to be 3. I will divide it. So now this is 3 out of 4 times. 3 out of 4 times of total area. That means if I do multiplication, if I multiply by 100, I'll get 75%. Yes, so answer is 75%. Very important. Okay, understanding this? So generally this mistake happens because as soon as we see this half, we consider 50%. It's not true. Okay, so you need to apply BPT theorem here. When you apply BPT theorem, you should take care that the ratios of the areas is square of the sides. Okay, from that you will get 1 is to 4. That is smaller triangles to bigger triangle, but they are asking shaded region to total triangle. So shaded region is 3/4 of the bigger triangle. So therefore it's 75%. Okay, so I'll go to the next question. Next question is, yeah, so this is again a good question. So in a triangle ABC, again you have to apply BPT theorem, BPT here. So DE is parallel to BC, where D is the point on AB and E is the point on AC. So DE divides the area into two equal parts. So what they're asking here is, you have a triangle like this, and you have again A, B, C, and there is a DE. So D is on AB and E is on this, right? How we came to know 1/3 of the triangle? Okay, so there is a question. Dhruva has a question here. I'll just come back to this. So please write down this question. Those who are writing it, I'll just go back to the previous question. I'll explain it. I'll come back. Okay. See, Dhruva, what we have done is, see, it's like this area is suppose A. This area becomes 4 times A, right? 4 times A, because it is 1/4, 1:4 times. So if this is A, this will become 4A. Okay, and that means this triangle is here only, now. This is 1A, and if I subtract it, this is 4A is a total triangle area in which 1A is subtracted. This becomes 3A. This is A, this is 3A. Therefore, it is 1:3. Okay. So next one. Here the areas they have given. What is area? So this is area 1, this is area 2. So area 1 is equal to area 2. Area 1 is equal to area 2. And we know that I will write like this. This is area of ADE divided by area of ABC is equal to AD divided by AB the whole square. 1 or 2, why you are getting 1 or 2? Okay, so ADE by ABC triangle, this is should be AD by AB the whole square. This what you have studied, basic proportionality theorem. Okay, and what is ADE? ADE is smaller one, ABE bigger one, and we know that ADE is area is A1 and area of ABC is A1 plus A2. And A1, A2 both are equal, they have given. So if A1 equal to A and A2 equals also equal to A, you will get A by 2A. Okay, so A by 2A is 1 by 2. So you have AD divided by AB is equal to square equal to 1 by 2, and AD divided by AB equal to 1 by root 2. Everybody got this step? And some of you might have done this mistake here. You have taken, I think, AD by AB is equal to plus or minus 1 by 2. If you have taken this, it's wrong. Why it is wrong? Because the ratios cannot be negative. Okay, so Kirti, I will explain it. Okay, so do not worry, I will explain again. So see what is happening in this. I have considered this region area equal to A1. I have considered this region area equal to A2. Okay, so they have given that both the areas are equal now. What they have given? The area is divided into two equal parts. So that means this area is A, this area is also A. And we know that for a similar triangle, so you can clearly see that ADE and ABC. So ADE and ABC are similar triangles. And the ratio of the areas is equal to square of the ratio of the sides. So therefore, area of ADE by area of ABC is AD by AB the whole square. Okay, so now that's what we have written here. Fine. So now, what is that area of ADE? That is nothing but A. And what is the area of ABC? That is total area. That is 2 times A. So that is nothing but 1:2 ratio. So this ratio is what? 1:2. And that means I will get AD by AB the whole square equal to 1:2. That means what is AD by AB? 1 by root 2. You should not consider like this because their length of the side, so length cannot be negative. So that the negative you should not consider. You should not consider plus or minus here. So AD by AB equal to 1 by root 2. Okay, what you need to find now? DB by AB. What is DB by AB? What is DB by AB? So I will write AB by AD is equal to root 2 by 1. Okay, and what is DB? DB is AB minus AD. I will do minus on both the sides. I will do minus on both the sides. That's going to be, okay, where to write? I think I write it above here. Okay, so I have AB divided by AD is equal to root 2 by 1, right? So what I will do next is I will do minus 1 to the both sides. So AB by AD minus 1 is equal to root 2 minus 1. And it is going to be AB minus AD divided by AD is equal to root 2 minus 1. Right? What is AB minus AD? So AB minus AD is DB. So that I will get DB divided by AD. Okay, dB divided by AD I'm getting, right? I need to find AB, right? So AB. Second option, sir, yeah. Second option I think we'll get. So a dB divided by AB will get root 2 minus 1. Okay, root 2 minus 1. So I also know that I have calculated AB divided by AD is equal to root 2, and dB divided by AD is equal to root 2 minus 1. If I take ratio of these two, so I'll get root 2 minus 1 by root 2. I think answer is root 2 by root 2 minus 1. So AB, dB. I think root 2 minus 1 by root 2. Is option C here? Is option C or B? Option is C actually, okay. Option is C. No sir, B. Really? Okay, let us see. See, AB divided by AD is equal to what? Root 2 by 1. Okay, I'll consider AB equal to what now? Root 2x, and consider AD equal to x. AB equal to root 2x, AD equal to x. So then, what is BD equal to? BD is actually AB minus AD, and that's going to be root 2x minus x. That is going to be root 2 minus into 1, root 2 minus 1 into x. Okay, so this is BD. So what they're asking now is BD divided by AB. So what is BD? That is root 2 minus 1 into x divided by AB. AB is root 2x. Okay, so x can cancel. It is root 2 minus 1 by root 2. So answer is C. Okay, answer is C. So there are simple questions only that, but still there is possibility that you will do mistake. You can see small things. Fine. So I am going to give you two homeworks today. So already time is 11:30. One is this question. Okay, one is this question. Wait a minute. I think I will try to put these questions into one file only, so that I just put it into one slide and give you. So these questions are based on circles. So these questions are based upon circles. Okay. Please write down these questions. So there are three questions, and that's what we will end today. Okay, we have covered all types of the two-dimensional figures and their areas. Please hello screenshot. Sometimes I don't understand my handwriting. Actually, there is a condition. Actually, all this all this live classes, no, they don't allow to take screenshots. I think Zoom they don't have that option to take screenshots. Can you please give in PDF? I can send it in PDF. These questions I can send you in PDF. But I heard many of the students are not receiving the PDFs. Is it so? If you are not receiving the PDFs, then it becomes difficult. Okay. Yes, Kirti is also not getting. Actually, we are sending through a number. You must be getting the WhatsApp message from 83101 So this number. Okay. So if you are not getting that, then you can. If you have not saved those numbers, please save it. Then you will get broadcast message. Sometimes still, even after saving the messages, if you are not getting the messages, then you can send a message to that WhatsApp number that you have not received, so immediately we'll send it. Okay, thank you very much. So we will meet again. So very happy to be with all young energetic students. Okay, so as soon as I start giving questions, so I get answers. So many students are very eager, very fast. Okay, so very hungry to learn. So thank you very much. So we will meet again tomorrow. Thank you.